as an undergraduate, studied Shakespeare and 20th century literature, and he's written several short stories himself. And I went to MySpace to try and look up some of his writing, and he wrote, "As I move ever closer to putting that gilded MD after my name, I sit and thank God for the unique, life-changing education I've been lucky enough to have at UC Davis. I have healed, I have hurt, I've delivered bad news, I've been touched, I've been moved. I've ridden this fantastic medical roller coaster through all its ups and downs. I'm becoming the physician I've worked my whole life to become, and I truly feel like everything in my life up to this point has been a prelude. That right now I'm really taking my first real breath of fresh air, and call me crazy, but I think I'm only really now starting to live." That's our speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Stephen Hall.
There was a sticker. I used to sit in one of the anatomy lockers outside of our anatomy lab, our first year of medical school. It was a blue sticker, hardly noticeable if you weren't paying attention, and on it were two simple sentences. I will pass, I will match. And that was the beginning of this story. 6 simple words on a sticker outside of our anatomy lab, our first year of medical school. 6 simple words that possess a particular audacious certainty that first-year medical students are reluctant to adopt. I will pass, I will match. The cast of characters in this story was amazing, drawn from a pool of thousands of hopeful medical school applicants. For more than 4,000, we were 93. 93 of the most amazing people in the world from a wealth of different backgrounds. We had teachers, dentists, musicians, artists, Peace Corps volunteers, and, of course, a certain lady who never failed to remind us about her time on the ambulance. And then came the bookwork. Mountains beyond mountains of textbooks, PowerPoint presentations, flashcards, and every possible study aid in the known universe. Those were hazy days in Tupper Hall. Days where the dream of wearing that long white coat was just that, a dream. We drank from the fountain of medical knowledge. We drank ad nauseum. And even in sleep, we were haunted by images of the Krebs cycle, motor cars to Zanzibar, and of course, an obscure little molecule that was worth 2 lousy points on our physiology midterm. And if you take nothing more from this speech at the end of this, the precursor to adrenocorticotropic hormone is something called POMC. And then there were the wards. The setting, the towering UC Davis Medical Center in sunny Sacramento, bustling 24 hours a day with doctors, residents, nurses, and a wealth of other hospital employees. And there we were, those silly lost medical students, trailing behind our residents and attendings in our short white coats. My, weren't those pale white halls intimidating? And what about the sheer terror that gripped us every time someone accidentally called us doctor? Indeed, it's very easy to get lost in this huge medical world. And it seemed that the daily special down in the cafeteria was a big hearty helping of humble pie. But it wasn't all that. In fact, there are times the hospital could be quite inspiring. And there were experiences out there that could truly change your life, if only you took the time to look. You ever go up to Davis 12 in the morning before rounds? The sun hits the wall in such a way, it lights up the hallways and make it look like it's covered in gold. What about the cries of the first baby born? Or the first time you set foot in the operating room? You ever played with the kids on Davis 7? Or take the time to listen to the stories from the veterans at the VA? If not, then do yourself this favor. before you leave, get up to the top floor of the Davis Tower, and for a moment, do not think about medicine or healthcare. Do not think about your board exams or the arduous path we have before us. Do not think, but just take a second to look out over Sacramento and realize that you have been a healthcare provider in this community. We are all actors. We all play our parts, and you have played yours here in Sacramento. And it was here you learned, above all things, why you got in this business in the first place. A funny thing happens to medical students after a few months on the wards. The esoteric book knowledge becomes less important than the human touch and outright compassion that provides the cornerstone for good patient care. You see the entire life cycle played out before your very eyes. You see miracle after miracle in those pale white halls, and you are humbled, so humbled, but you are also inspired. And it was no wonder that by the end of our rotations, our voices resounded with a much more passionate and much more powerful rendition of our first year creed. I will pass. I will match. And thus, our story brings us here, the UC Davis School of Medicine class of 2008, back from our journeys to the four corners of the earth, and here in this Mondavi Center, one last time. We have all worked ourselves to death to get here. We've all experienced our share of triumphs and heartbreaks in the hospital, and the fact that we're here today is a testament to our dedication and our passion for this profession. No one gave this to us. We were blessed just to be given this opportunity. And truly, in the last 4 years, we've learned with, taken lessons from, and been surrounded by the best minds in medicine, and then some. So here's to you, and to all you've accomplished, to all the hours you spent clicking away at that pesky question bank, and running through the pale white halls of UCDMC, to the stitches you've sewn, the IVs you've placed, to every single progress note and H&P you've put in those gray picture charts, to the lives you've touched, to the suffering you've alleviated, to the grateful eyes of every patient and every loved one who has benefited from your care. And don't get me wrong, the path is far from over, and there will be many more long days and nights ahead before you're through. But today you take an oath that generations of physicians have taken before you. And with that oath comes the promise that you make to yourself and your patients. The next time someone in the hospital calls for a doctor, they'll be talking to you. It's time to cast off those short white coats and trade them in for long ones. Time to put on that golden stethoscope around your neck and start saving the world one patient at a time. Indeed, you have passed and you have matched. And in the eyes of the great state of California, you are indeed worthy to serve. Today, you are a doctor. And for the rest of your life, whatever house you enter, you will enter for the benefit of the sick. You will make the good of your patient your highest priority. You have a unique and precious education that has been given to you in hopes that you will make better the world around you. And it is incumbent upon you to not only do no harm, but to practice good medicine, and to pass the torch of knowledge to your family, your friends, your colleagues, and your patients. It is a noble job we have as doctors, and it is a tremendous obligation. That long white coat is much heavier than the material it's made out of. Congratulations, class of 2008. I am honored to walk this stage with you. This is the path we have chosen, and if you have ventured this far, I have no doubt you will venture further. I would be honored to call any one of you my doctor. And your doubts, your fears, your worries about matching the standard of care for all your patients in the future, don't worry. We will.